Hello and good afternoon. I'm Chuck Cashman, Chief Revenue Officer with MarineMax, and very pleased to bring you an interactive live panel of five of our top yacht salespeople. We're going to talk about different topics today related to owning, servicing, and enjoying your yachts. How you select it, what brands, how do you go about the process, everything yachting. We're also going to field live questions. So if you have a question, please come in through chat. We'll finish the topic we're on, acknowledge your question, and hopefully we answer it for you. I think this group, if there's a question about yachting in America or quite honestly in the world, we have the right people on the phone. I'll do some brief introductions. As I said, I'm Chuck Cashman, Chief Revenue Officer. Part of my responsibility beyond sales is trying to choose the brands that we represent, and we put a lot of thought behind that. We'll talk about it a little bit on the call. With us today is Scott Robertson, 26-year veteran out of Clearwater, Florida. Many yachts. Very few people in the world have sold more, so if anybody. Also, Mike Doyle. Mike Doyle's been with us also 26 years. A fixture in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Pompano, yachting capital of the world. Also, Joe Jackson out of North Carolina, 22-year veteran. Fixture in his market. Mike Lennon from the Northeast, out on Long Island and Huntington, 24-year veteran. And from Fort Myers, Dave Mickey, 16 years. Hard to imagine that at 16 years you're the rookie of the group, but sold a lot of yachts and is the go-to guy in the Fort Myers, Naples market. So, fellas, welcome. Thank you very much for being part of this. I know you're all very busy taking care of your customers, but I think this is a unique opportunity and a neat way for us to expand our reach and talk to a few more customers. So I'm going to start off right away with Scott. What does it mean to you to be a yacht expert at MarineMax?
Well, after 26 years, we've watched the the company grow to be able to offer our customers yachts from 50, 60 feet all the way up to 300 feet now. And so that's been one way to work with a lot of manufacturers, from Hatteras to Ocean Alexander to Sea Ray to Venetti, Azimut, and Galleon. And it's just allowed a salesperson like myself to get involved with different manufacturers, see how each of them do something a little bit different, and then be able to take that knowledge and advise our clients on a direction to go. Our company also has grown with resources over the last 20 years to give sales guys like us a place to go and make sure that we have the right brand managers to communicate with and be able to answer our customers' questions and lead them in the direction through a current inventory piece or even through building a custom yacht. So that's really what has allowed myself to become an expert in our industry when it comes to yachting.
Fantastic. I think that's a great answer. Also joining us from Boston is Jared Simpson. And Jared, I know you recently joined our family. I don't know, how long were you with Russo before you joined MarineMax a couple of years ago?
Hey, Chuck, it was about 16 years before the 2016 merge with MarineMax. So it's been 3 years this April to be with MarineMax.
Very nice. So 19 years with Russo Marine and MarineMax combination. So another very accomplished yacht salesperson, well known for taking care of his customers. So welcome. Thank you for being on it. And Scott, I thought your answer was excellent. Any from the rest of the guys, any bullet points to add to that? All right, great. So Mike Doyle, talk about how MarineMax grows to understand the unique needs of a yacht owner, right? Everybody's different. How do you go about the process of finding the right boat for the right person?
Well, the biggest thing is getting to know your client and their needs by finding what they have now and what they're looking to do with the boat. That's what we're trying to do. It's boating is what we're selling, not just a particular yacht, but what's going to fit their family and their needs. Do a lot of research out there in the market, but it's just getting that one-on-one contact with them and having a lot of years of experience selling different yachts that we know what they're looking for, and we try to help guide them to find the right boat that's going to fit their needs for their future boating. a lot of it's just meeting with them and getting to just take the time to know them and find out what they want, not just push them into the boat right off the get-go. And with the boat trips that we're doing and working with the different manufacturers and all the events that we do, you get to talk to different people. And over the years, what the right questions are to help guide your clients to the right boat to enjoy.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. One thing everybody on this call that I know you do, you're all very passionate boaters. I mean, there's probably not a week in the season up north, or certainly in Florida, that goes by without one or all of you being on the water. I know Scott, recently you've spent a lot of time on the water, and it's with customers, it's helping customers, it's understanding their needs, like you say, and there's no substitute for that. So, Joe, along those same lines, Joe, anything you do different when you're looking for somebody that boats in your neck of the woods is looking for something maybe a little different than the typical Florida boater? How do you, what's your trick? What's your secret to figuring out how to get the right person in the right boat?
I mean, to me, it's just all about relationships. And once you get in there, and all of us here on this panel have started out with our, the Sea Ray lines and stuff like that, and worked our way up. And to me, now being able to sell these bigger boats and going and showing customers that you can do a azimuth rendezvous in Nantucket, or you can go to Fisher Island, and just building the relationship and showing them, basically their passion or their dream of boating in those type of waters instead of just here in North Carolina. And we have some great water here, but, to show people that this time of year you can head south. And the cool thing about Riceville Beach here is we're halfway. We're halfway between Jared and Mike Lennon and Mike Gold. So we can get guys going from here up in the summertime, have some great times through the Chesapeake all the way up. You can go further south, and it's just building the relationship is my biggest key.
I would agree with that. You had recently you had a big delivery. You had a 125 Benetti that delivered out of Italy to a Carolina customer that actually you put on a MarineMax charter to see if he would even like big boats, right?
Absolutely, and that worked out great. We went down to the Bahamas, had their whole family there for Thanksgiving. That was 2 years ago. That turned into the 84 sale, which then less than 15 months later turned into the 125.
Which is amazing, right? That was a client that really didn't know if he was going to like big boating, and we have MarineMax charters, so you could somewhat painlessly figure out if you're going to like that type of boating. He came back, liked it, and contracted on an 84 right after that. So
luckily he went on a 77S and figured out he needed something bigger.
That's amazing, right? Yeah, so that's fantastic. Hey, Mike Lennon, what type of service is provided, in your opinion, from MarineMax if somebody wants to build a yacht? You just built a 70 from scratch. It was a little over a year build, and why don't you talk about that?
The great thing with MarineMax, we have so many boats in inventory. So first off, you have this large array of boats to show a client and really help them find their way, budget-wise, size-wise, everything they're looking to do as a family. And so we can get someone in a boat quickly. If we want to build a boat, wow, what a great process. So it usually starts with settling on a particular model, and then from there, depending on the size of the boat, we're generally meeting at a manufacturer's facility at times. If it's a U.S. boat, could be travel overseas. But it's really sitting down, going over equipment, and then, picking options, picking colors, running the boats, and really a rewarding experience. One of the great things I think everyone here can attest to is the relationships that the clients form along the way, both with our staff, both with manufacturers, and to see it finish up in the end and on to really get the right boat for what they're doing. Wow, is it exciting.
Yeah, I know everybody on the call has built a yacht or two or more, and I believe it's got to be one of the most exciting things. I think I think a lot of our customers have built homes, and there's probably mixed emotions with building a home, that it's wonderful that you get everything that generally the way you want it. And quite honestly, it's at the same token, it's not easy. It's not easy. And I think our resources, be it through the connections through surveyors, the leverage that we have on manufacturers, given the size of our company and the volume that we do, our experience to know the little traps and to eliminate those little traps for customers to make it as smooth and seamless as possible. I think it could really be a very enjoyable, now it is a process, but it can be a very enjoyable, very fulfilling process to watch your yacht be built, especially for you.
Yeah, the other great thing, Chuck, is I have this large pool of associates. When I run up against a question I don't know, and again, I can go to Scott. He's built so many boats, or Joe, or Mike, or Andrew, and Azimuth. So you really get the customer exactly what they want. If it's something we can't accommodate, we're able to tell them that. But again, we hate saying no, and it's really been great.
Yeah. One of the things that Scott mentioned and you mentioned, it's worth reinforcing, for all of our yacht brands, we have brand champions that live, eat, sleep, breathe that brand. I'd say they're beyond experts, right? They're integral with the factory, they're integral with design, that relationship and that ability to navigate a company is irreplaceable. So it's well worth the investment, and to have those type of resources makes the process very nice. Let's talk about, David. So down in Fort Myers, there's that area is just exploding. And I know there's shortages of captains, shortages of crew, services for the boat. Talk about, a new owner buys a boat. Can you find them a captain down there? Can you help them with crew? How does that work?
Yeah, I think with our resources, guys on this group here, local captains, it's a pretty tight community. And weekly, I've got resumes sent to me for captains that their sellers are moving on or moving out, and we want to have looking for a different job. And so captains, I think, are a big asset to us, and they can definitely help us make the experience a lot better for our owners. And so we help with with crew and with maintenance and everything really you need to operate and own the boat.
Unless you're seasoned, getting into a big boat with a captain it's a unique experience. There's a specialty to it. Finding the right captain is one of the most difficult things, and we screen them very diligently to make sure that anybody we recommend is worthy of being recommended. And we've all seen this through the years, that the wrong captain can really be detrimental to the enjoyment of the boat, and a right captain can change people's world, right? It's you put the right captain on the right boat, and you just have an unbelievable experience. So we're very happy to provide that service. So we do have a question from Sarah, and it says, if I do buy a large yacht, can I have it chartered out to help make up some of the cost? Yeah, absolutely, Sarah. We have a charter division, and quite honestly, it was something that Joe and I were just talking about. The 77 that the customer chartered was in our charter fleet. So we screen those boats. We put them into charter. We prefer to charter our own boats, but we'll take outside boats. And absolutely, and they don't have to charter a lot to kind of make up some of the cost. You can charter it aggressively, or you can pick up some of the cost, but 100% the charter business is brisk right now. It's a shared economy world that we live in. People are Airbnb in their house and Uber in their cars, and charter is a way that addresses some needs for owners that want to help out with some of the cost, and with people that know that they want a boat, but quite honestly, maybe they don't want to invest and buy a yacht. So, they'll charter anything from, they'll charter small boats, but, we kind of live in the 50 to 125 foot range, but they'll do, and you can go well beyond that with charter. It's a brisk business, and and we do it well. So thank you for asking that question. And if there's any follow-up to that, let us know. And if not, we can get you the contact of our charter broker. So one of the questions came in, does MarineMax have many yachts for sale? And I'll take that myself. We have approximately 350 yachts either in stock or on order currently for about $440 million. And that is, there's no company in the world that probably has half that much on order. And so we're heavily committed to the business. And what that means, we don't want that inventory for long, but what that means to you as a buyer is wherever you are in your buying cycle, more than likely I have a boat that fits it, meaning we have a boat in stock if you want to go boating today. I have a boat probably halfway built if you want to pick a couple colors. And then we have boats that are slated for production if you want to do what Mike Lennon's customer did and just start from scratch. And so all of those are in process and available. So, Scott,
the other thing I just like to say, Chuck, is that over the time, like, we have customers building boats, and we really learned how people need their boats. So there's always a very strong possibility we have the boat exactly the way they need it, and they can really have a perfectly equipped boat, get on it quick, and go enjoy boating.
That's an excellent point. The group on this call and probably a half a dozen other guys, we talk regularly about how boats are equipped, what engines to put in, what electronics to put in, what options to put in. I am very confident that any boat that we have coming in is really the way that the majority of the people would want a boat in the world. And again, we can customize, but when we get a consensus from a group like this, you know that it's going to be equipped well, not only for your ownership or possibly charter or for resale. So, a boat that's very particular to you may be exactly that. However, it may not resell well. So as you look at that whole picture, you still may decide, I want to build it the way I want it. But if it's an interim boat, or if you're a boater that, trades boats every 3 years or so, which is pretty typical, you want to think about not only getting in and enjoying it, but getting out and how that works. And we're very lucky to have a group like this that knows the boats, knows the brands, knows how the customers want to boat, what they need, and sometimes what they don't need. And so we're very fortunate from that standpoint. Let's talk about some of the events. We do an awful lot of events around. You guys are at all of them. Scott, talk about how the events have impacted some of your customers and how they boat.
As far as like getaway events, is that kind of what you're referring to?
Yeah.
Or yeah.
I think
So I think the doing the trips where we take our customers, how do we meet our customers' needs and what they're looking for in yachting was one of the questions you asked earlier, and Mike answered. And I think getaways do a lot of that. I think it allows our customers to interact. I think it allows us to interact with them on a different playing ground, more of a, let's go have fun type of thing and get out there and actually see how they're using the boats. And then I think there's also them getting to meet other customers and how they use their yachts as well. And I think it gives them some great other ideas, because when you come into this industry, especially being someone that's first, second boat, they're not really sure exactly where to go. And, hey, where in the Bahamas do I go? Where in the Keys do we go? Where in the Northeast do you travel? And that's where these getaways really come in and help our customers expand their boating horizon and stay in the industry.
Yep. Mike, anything to add to that? Mike Doyle?
No, I agree with what Scott said. I mean, that's been a big part of moving our customers up the line, but the confidence that they have. The wife's nervous, the kids are nervous for going on trips, but the biggest thing is they learn the larger boats by talking to customers more on a one-on-one basis. You're not getting a big push, the sales guy trying to talk them in, but it's really the confidence to see what they can use their boats, like Scott said, to go to the Bahamas, the Keys, and not just use it here. And that's been a big part of MarineMax for the last 20 years. I've been, with the customers out there enjoying it. It's big plus for us and the clients.
And another benefit. Go ahead, Scott.
I said a lot of these customers all have different experiences, right? And then when you put them all together, and there's sometimes between 25 to 50 of them, it's really unique to see them share stories and what each have done. And I think that's very unique to what we do.
Yeah, Chuck, I would say that I don't know of any other dealer that does what we do on these events. Up in the Northeast, it's just so remarkable. It's something that families look forward to every year. You know, when we finish a trip, they're talking about their next trip. What are we doing next year? Where are we going? So it's really very genuine. And, you know, for us, we always have our clients leaving better than when they got there as far as the condition of their boats. If there's any issues, we're there to take care of it. And people really walk away saying, wow, these guys care. What a great group. And my family, all our families, nothing like it, really nothing like it.
Yeah, there's a group in the Northeast that I've grown to know since the acquisition, and we've got more involved with Azimut. And I would tell you that group's it's an extended family. I mean, they're together, boating together for years and years and years. And we do a lot of trips. They're probably too many to explain, but we're everywhere. We do everywhere on the water in the eastern seaboard. We're there, or we're going there, or we're going by there, and it's phenomenal. It's a great resource. It kind of speaks to the north-south, where the boaters in your territory, when, you know, about this time of year, they're already down here. They come south and they extend their season to a year-round season instead of having it be a Memorial Day to Labor Day type season. Hey, Jared, you guys are relatively new to MarineMax. How is the north-south opportunity affected your customers? And I'm assuming in a positive way, but what are you hearing from your customers now that they know they can stop all the way along the eastern seaboard and have MarineMax taking care of them?
Well, Chuck, the biggest thing is service, right? We have marinas up and down the coast. So it just assures our customers that they have someone to lean on now, if and when they do have an issue, along with all the captain services and basically managing the process. It's just really opened up, you know, a whole different style of boating to our customers. Rather than laying their boats up on land all winter, you know, a lot of them are going south now with their boats and using them all year.
Yeah, I agree with that. And Mike, you see that, right?
Oh, it's unreal. I mean, I have my 70 OA I had built for a northeastern client. Boat went south, was able to stop at the factory, get a little this and that tightening up, taken care of. Back to yacht management. We have people down there looking after the boat while he's not there with a great captain. I'm delivering another yacht out of Pompano very shortly, where it's a northeastern customer. He can boat down there. And we just have a tremendous amount of people north and south. And boy, the service is just excellent. And people are very, very, very happy. And they get treated at every location the same, just very, very well.
Family's family. And I will tell you, it's a unique strength in MarineMax, and it's a true strength, whether you're in New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Texas, wherever you are, coastal boating, we're talking about big boats, we have stores. In that area, we probably have 35 locations, meaning we have 35 travel lifts. We probably have 120 mobile vans that are capable of going to the marinas and helping out along the way. And it's amazing. So
yeah. A couple of years ago, real quick, Chuck, we had one of Joe's customers took a 62 Azimut out of our store. So he was boating most of his life in the Carolinas. He took delivery out of New York, and he spent probably 2 months up here where he didn't want to leave. Yeah. You know?
No, it's awesome.
Finally got back here in November.
Yes.
It certainly extends your season. And the other thing is, you know, the nice thing about a boat, as opposed to a vacation home, you take it anywhere you want to go.
Yeah.
You may want to go one summer to the Bahamas, and you may want to go one summer to New York. And in either way, we got you. We're there to take care of you. So we have a question from Kelly that says, how easy is it to handle some of these large yachts for an owner? How would someone get trained to dock and run a large yacht? So I tell you, let's say, Scott, why don't you tell them how easy? I know you're going to say it's easy. but let's tell them how it is. Or her.
All right. I mean, part of the process is we have captains that work for our company that are here to, after the customer's gone through the process of picking the right boat and all that, is orientate the client and spend as much time with them as possible. So typically you get the full 1 day. You start at the marina where you bought the boat, and then from there the captain will go with you to where you're going to keep it at a marina or at your house. And through that, you'll have electronics orientation. You'll have a docking orientation. You'll go through the engines. You'll go through all the systems. You'll just get a really good feel of and comfort of the boat for your first time on your own. And then 1 or 2 weeks later, if you feel like, hey, listen, there's a few more questions or we'd like to revisit, we'll send the captain back out. And our goal is to get you comfortable with it and get you feeling where you'll take this boat out on a weekend or take it on a trip, which then also extends to the docking is going on a trip with us. If you end up leaving out of the East Coast or West Coast or Northeast and you go on a 3-day weekend trip, you will get a lot of docking experience through that, where one of us would be there on the trip and could be there for guidance as well. So there's a lot of ways to get comfortable with docking a large boat.
And I'll add to that, if and it does happen quite often, if it's your first boat and you're really new to boating, we'll give you as much training as you need. If that's 1 day to 1 week, we'll put a captain on the boat. I know every single person on this call has spent extended time with their customers, making sure they're very comfortable, being that resource beyond just finding the right boat. But we're heavily invested in making sure that any boat owner is extremely comfortable operating their own boat. We know that if you're having a great time and you're comfortable with it, the likelihood that you'll tell a friend or come back and see us again increases tenfold. So we'll give you all the training that you need. Most of our stores, big stores, have captains on staff, and it's there's no charge for that. It's just how much time do you need? And like Scott said, sometimes you got to cut the cord and go for a weekend, and you'll realize that, hey, there's a couple things I need to tune myself up. But without a doubt, we're here to make it easy. And a comment came in. A lot of our boats today have joysticks and yacht controllers, which, quite honestly, there was something done not too long ago that there was a boat magazine editor had his 12-year-old daughter docking a boat inside of a day, because the joystick docking is just that easy, and everybody today is used to it. Plus, we host classes and training throughout the year. You don't have to necessarily have us come to your boat; just come in for a refresher. So we do a lot. So, and as we're kind of wrapping up, I'd like to talk about brokerage services real quick, and I'll ask Dave if he's still on the call. Let's see. Yep. No, Dave left. So Mike Doyle, brokerage services, right? Sometimes we don't have that boat. Sometimes people are looking for a pre-owned boat or a brand that we don't represent. Talk to me. What does brokerage service mean to our clients?
Well, like you said, I mean, we sell a lot of pre-owned boats, but the beauty is they want to come in and we narrow down what the right couple of boats are. We go out into the brokerage field between boats that we have listed, current clients that are for sale, but we also have the whole market out there to find the right boat for a client. And the beauty then is we can work with them to make sure they're getting a good price. We can help them with service. We can help them with all the financing, extended warranties, and, dockage and captains as well. So we're not just locked into what we have, in stock to choose from. We can also, on the flip side, if for some reason they need to get out of boating or sell a boat, move up, we can also offer the brokerage service to help them sell their boat and, put the boat on the market. And again, we have a big brokerage, our own website at MarineMax, which is a big advantage, plus all the other websites that are out there. But we also got the service for the client that might be buying or selling the boat versus just another broker that works in an office and he's just going to sell them the boat and never see him again. So it's a good benefit for everybody.
It's and I'll add to that. a company like MarineMax, publicly traded, New York Stock Exchange, audited financials, processes that are far more stringent than the average broker down the street. And it doesn't sound like a lot until you get into trouble with money changing hands and clear titles to boats. I highly recommend dealing with a upper echelon brokerage house that has a great reputation. There's others besides MarineMax. Of course, I recommend MarineMax, but the dealing with a solid, reputable brokerage firm is critical, whether it's us or somebody else. But in beyond brokerage, it's an important point. Andrew Schneider, our Azimuth brand manager, wanted to make sure that I told everybody that if you want to move up to a larger boat and you have a smaller boat, we take trades. We're probably one of the few companies in the world that could. I mean, we've taken a 100-foot boat on trade, and we're capable of doing that. So we do take trades. If the trade number doesn't make sense, we have a brokerage division to help relieve the trade from the deal. But if you have a boat and want to go boating tomorrow, and we've got a new one that you want, we can take yours on trade, and we're happy to do it. So, with that, I'd like to thank the people that asked the questions. I'd like to thank the panel that took your valuable time, gentlemen. Thank you so much for spending a half hour with us and giving some insight. And again, anybody that's attending, these guys they're the best of our best, which is as good as there are in the industry. Feel free to reach out to them, and any single one of them would be honored to help you find a boat. And I'm going to turn it over to Abby Hymanson, who's our marketing director, the architect of this amazing event, so that she can fill you in on some of the details for the rest of the MarineMax Virtual Yacht Expo. So, gentlemen, thank you very much, and Abby, take it away.
Thank you, Chuck. And before you guys disappear on me, we have one more question that came in a private question, which was, do we have the resources to haul and lift boats out of the water for service and maintenance up and down the coast?
I'll take that. We absolutely do. It'll vary from yard to yard. I would say anything up to 70 feet, most of our yards can handle. If it's bigger than 70 feet, every single one of our yards has a relationship with a yard that is capable of lifting it. But I was just at our Dania facility here in South Florida this morning. There was a 90 Sunseeker on the deck. There was a 85 Ferretti. There was an 84 Azimuth. We have the ability to haul, lift, launch, block most boats, certainly anything that we sell, or we have a great working relationship with somebody close by.
Fantastic. Thank you for answering that.
One thing I just like to say, and I get it all the time, is I get stories from customers where, again, I have a client going south, and Wrightsville Beach stayed late after hours, had slings in the water to lift a fellow out of the water so they can get his propellers off and get him sent out and get him back on his way. So it's really just great service on that whole Eastern Seaboard anywhere you go.
Yeah, that's it's probably understated. We can't say it enough. It truly is a game changer when your trip is saved, because you're not going to spend a week in the yard because we're staying late to, I'm assuming that customer must have touched bottom somewhere, and that happens at some point in everybody's life as a boater. But to have a yard that immediately puts you to a priority, gets the props sent out, probably saved their trip.
Did.
So, all right, Abby.
Great. Well, fantastic. Thank you all for being part of our first ever yacht expert panel at the inaugural MarineMax Yachts Virtual Yacht Expo. And we would like to thank everybody and all of our attendees today for attending this. A couple of housekeeping notes for all of you out there. We are going to continue having our chat rooms open. All of our booths are open, and all of our brand managers are live and waiting to take your questions in the chat room here. All of our booths are open, so please do go through those and check things out. We'll be live and chatting with everybody till 4 p.m. Eastern time today. We'll be restarting tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. and going through 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. And again on Sunday, 10 to 4 p.m. as well, Eastern Standard Time. We also have a great walkthrough coming up tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Andrew Schneider will be taking us through the Azimuth 25 meter located right there in beautiful Pompano. And tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m., we are going to be going through the Azimuth 77S with Paul Cummings, our regional president for the Southeast area. So that's going to be a treat. We hope that everyone comes back and enjoys those tours. And again, we do have our live questions going on during the webinar, so do not hesitate to ask any questions of our group. And please do go to the chat rooms and engage with our brand managers. They're there to help you and get you into your next yacht. So thank you all for attending.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.